Hey, hi guys. Good morning to all. Yeah. So we discussed from the last two sessions as a part of the workshop what exactly an entity framework and the architecture of the entity framework and how can we use the entity framework with the different approaches, entity framework approaches. That I have explained. And in that, in the last session, practically, how do we implement the database first approach? So database first approach, how do we implement and what are the different files it associates while working with the entity framework, DB first approach, what are the different files are associated in that and how do we work with the model browser and how the mapping was happened. Everything I have explained in detail. And also suppose if my database is changed, they're like if they added a column for the table and if they created a complete table and if they're doing any modifications on the database, how can we get that updations on the models? That means in the code level, how can we get those updations also? I have explained in detail in the last session. Now in today's session, we'll see how can we perform CRUD operations. CRUD operations in the sense like inserting the data, getting the data, updating the data, and deleting the data. How can we do that particular CRUD operations? I'll explain you in today's session. That is what the today's session agenda is going to be. And as you know, once if you are using an entity framework is completely working as a DAL in the sense like data access layer. It's completely a DAL layer. That means what? It just used to fetch the data and the data is going to be available in the collections. And whenever you people require the data, you can just get that and consume it in your front-end application. The front-end application, as I already told you, anything if it is, it might be a console application, it might be a Windows application, it might be a web application as well. And according to the current industry standard, ASP.NET MVC is the one application, like one technology which can be used much more to build the web application. So that is the reason where I'll go with that only as my front-end application to consume the the data, like whatever we are getting it by using the entity framework. That is what I am trying to. So to do that one, first we do have some environment setup. How can we do that one? Simply right click on the solution. Yesterday we have created a solution and in that solution we have included one layer, that is the DAL layer. I have created it as a class library, right? Class library, that what I have created here. Now what I want to do, I just want to do, and you can see here, I'm having some EDMX diagram is also there. And I'm getting like all the updations that are happening in my database as well. And everything is available here. So this is how it is going to be. Now what I want to do, I'm going to use these particular classes in my UI application, and performing all the CRUD operations. This session is completely I'm taking care of entity framework, and this session is not for like ASP.NET MVC. So that is the reason where the people who are new to ASP.NET MVC, you can just learn the ASP.NET MVC, then you can understand. But it doesn't mean that entity framework is designed for only for ASP.NET MVC. Remember, that's very important. Let's go to the solution, and I wanted to add another one. Add a new project. Now here I'm selecting an ASP.NET web application by using the .NET framework and click on OK. To the same project, I mean to the same solution I'm adding, and the name of the project is going to be Web UI. This is for the user interface. User interface in the sense where you can display the data, or you can insert the data, or you can update the data. Whatever you guys wants to do, you can do that one. That is the reason where we do have a user interface. So I'm selecting my user interface name. That means my project name is going to be web user interface, and just click on OK, so that it shows you like the different templates to creating an ASP.NET MVC application. Just click on that. There we have like different templates are available. I'm selecting an empty and MVC template and just click on enter, so that it will get created. Just wait a while. And here the environment setup, like the architecture wise, we have to do like few things if you are maintain the layered approach. So the first one is going to be, okay, the first one is going to be whatever the data I'm having in the DAL layer, I just wanted to use it in the MVC application. So that is the reason where the first and foremost thing, we should add the reference of the DAL layer. That is the first one. These things are very important, or else like you may not able to get the data. So these settings are very important. I'm going to add the reference of the DAL layer and then just click on OK, so that it was added. That is the first one. Second one is going to be in the DAL layer. I'm getting the data by using what? An entity framework. So that is the reason. And even like to perform the CRUD operation, we are calling entity framework methods only. Entity framework methods we used in order to perform the CRUD operation. So CRUD operation methods I have explained, something like add method, find method, entry method, and a to list method. Like that, there are different methods that what I already explained to you. We just wanted to use those methods in the MVC application. That is the reason what you can do. You just have to include the reference of, okay, include the reference of what? Entity framework as well. That is also the second thing. Let's go to the browse, and there I can say entity framework. And entity framework is available in two flavors. The first one is the core, and the second one is the entity framework. I'm selecting the entity framework only here. And which version we used here, the same version, you can go with that. That's a good programming practice. In all the layers, we should follow the same version. And if you can go to a file that is package.config, what is the version I'm having here? 6.2.0. And to this UI layer also, you should include the same version, so that we are not getting any kind of version compatibility issues. I'm installing 6.2.0 only, but the latest one is 6.4 is the latest one from the Microsoft. Now I'm executing that, and you can see how it is, right? It's done. It was installed. That is the second step. First step is going to be add the reference of the DAL layer. It's done completely. Second step is going to be what? Add the entity framework references. I'm adding the entity framework references from the Nugget package manager. Now the next one is going to be, you just have to set user interface project as the startup project. That is the third step. And fourth step is going to be, whatever the connection string we used in order to connect with the database, whatever the connection string we used, same connection string has to be specified under the web.config as well. So that is the reason where I'll copy my connection string from here, app.config, and then web.config. Let's open, and there I just wanted to define the connection string and save this application. That's it. So these are all the steps that what you need to do And once if everything is done, just go and build the solution. Now my architecture is ready. My project setup is ready. Now I need to write the code in order to get the data and insert the data, update the data and delete the data. Whatever you want to use, you can go with that. That is what the requirement. So how can I use it? Then no need to worry about this. Like DAL layer, you don't need require. Okay, from here only you can do whatever you want. So the first thing is going to be here. Okay, the first thing is going to be, I just wanted to add a controller. Now let me right click, add a controller. So this is basically an MVC application. MVC stands for model, view and controller, where models are used to interact with the data. And I have prepared the model by using a separate layer, that is the DAL. So that is where in this application, if you wanted to keep the model, you can, or else you can simply remove that one as well. That's your wish. And controllers are basically used to handle the user request, and views are used to present the data. That is what the model, view, controller. Models interact with the data. Controller is used for what purpose? Handle the user's request. And view, that what we are having, can be used for what purpose? Presentation logic. So that is how it is. It is a combination of these three things together. Already I have created the model as a DAL layer, which is used entity framework in order to interact with the database and getting the data, and the data is going to be stored on the collection classes. Fine, it's working fine. Now what I want to do, I just want to consume that in my MVC application. No, you can't able to create directly. If you can create like that, then that is tightly coupled architecture. MVC applications are designed to make your application as loosely coupled. There is a lot of difference between tightly coupling and loosely coupling. You will come to know once you learn about the ASP.NET MVC. Okay, right. Let's add the controller here. I just wanted to add my controller, and the name of the controller is going to be MVC5 controller empty. I am selecting, and the name of the controller, you can give any name here. I just want to give my name of the controller as going to be home controller. It doesn't mean that like we can have the same controller name. You can give any name, right? And the next one is going to be, this is what a controller. A controller is basically a class only. It is not something else. It is basically a class only, where you can have home controller and the controller class. And here what we are having, index action is available. Now I'm using this index action in order to retrieve the data from the database server. So how can we get it? Directly, MVC application is not communicating with the database. MVC application will communicating with what? DAL layer. And in the DAL layer, we have an entity framework. This will communicating with the database. So up to the DAL layer and the database communication is done. It's completely done. Now I'm using the DAL layer to perform the CRUD operation. And in the entity framework, there are two set of classes I have explained in the last session to perform the CRUD operation. What classes are? Tell me, what are the two set of classes are available? What are the two set of classes are available? Tell me. Context class and model class. Very good. And the purpose of context class is used for what purpose? What is the purpose of context class? The context class is used to perform the CRUD operations by interacting with the database. Very good. Now I'm creating an object for my context class. What is my context class? The context class name is going to be, I'm having product DB, and which is available under the namespace, that is the DAL layer. Okay, product DB context. I don't think so. Like, what is my context name? Just wait a while. I'll see. The context class name is going to be product DB context, that what I'm using. So I'm using the same class over here as well. I'm using the same class over here. First, let's create an object. It is a data context object. So that is where I'm using DC is equal to new product DB context, that what I'm using. That's it. That is the first one. Next one, I just wanted to retrieve the data. So how can I retrieve the data? To retrieve the data, there are different approaches are available. Either you can write the query, or you can go with link to method expressions, or else directly you can go with the entity framework as well. That's your wish. Suppose you wanted to write like method based queries. So how can I do that one? Simply, I can say list of, we have what? Products is equal to, or else like product is equal to, I'm having products is equal to, how can we get the list here? Simply, you will write a database context object, that is the DC object that what we are having. DC dot, okay, DC dot, we have products is a data set that what we are having. Yesterday I have explained about the DB set as well. And there we have an option is available, that is select, and you can go with that, and there it is expecting an expression here. That means I wanted to get my complete product information. So that is the reason P dot P goes to P, and then I'll go with the list. That's it. When I'm executing this, then automatically I'm able to get the complete data. I'm able to get what? The complete data from where? From the products table. That is what the DB said. And I have already explained in the last session the roles and responsibilities of a DB set. The DB set is used to provide the way on which entity the CRUD operations are going to be performed. Now I'm performing the CRUD operations on my entity, that is the products entity. So that is the reason where I'm using the DB set, that is going to be products DB set. List of products is equal to DC dot products dot select that what I'm using. This is one way. Or else, Srikanth, is there any other way? Yes, we have. You can say something like this, list of product that what we are having. I'll say products is equal to. So simply you can write a query, link you query from X in where it is available, data context dot products. Okay, data context dot products. I can say simple, like you can write like some where condition as well. If you don't want to get that, okay, there you can go with that, where X dot product ID is available is greater than 0, then I just wanted to get the products. That's it. But here I'm having the type as going to be a list. So that is the reason where I'll just convert that into list format. That's it. This is the second way of writing the query. Okay, I'm using, this is the link you queries basically. Whatever you want to write, you can go with that. Either you can go with the method syntax, or else you can write the query syntax. Link you can be written in two ways, method syntax and query syntax. Whatever you want to go with, you can go with that. Or else simply by using entity framework method you wanted to write. So how can I do that one? You can write something like list of product. Okay, I'll say that products is equal to, simply I'll go with the DC dot products dot, we have a method is available, that is a toList method. Directly you can call. Why? Because in entity framework, I already told you that there are different methods are available, right? Different methods are available. What methods are available? If you wanted to get all the data, there we have toList is available. If you wanted to get a single record, there we have find method is available. If you wanted to get like multiple records, insert a record, add method is available. Like that, there are different methods are available in the entity framework to perform the CRUD operations. So that is the reason where I'm using that. And at the same time, what I can do, I'm going to pass the data to the view page, and there I just want to do display. Simply right click on here. Okay, right click on here. You can see there, add a view page. Okay, and I'm selecting a view page that is going to be the list view, and my model class is going to be, this is the product model class, I'm using it here, and the context class is going to be product DB context. And I just wanted to add everything. Just let's click on add, so that automatically the code would be generated. you can see, and what code is required to you, you can just keep it over there, and remaining you can just remove it. This is the scaffolding feature which generates the complete code automatically. No need to do anything by your own. You can see that. Right. So this is how it is going to be. And followed by, suppose if you, I mean, it was generated automatically. Later, like if you want to remove, you can just go ahead. I'm removing this, and also category name I don't need. So that is the reason I'll remove that one as well. And the remaining things, if you want to do how you can, that's your wish. Okay. So let's save this application. And if you can execute that, you can see. Let's execute the application so that automatically we'll get everything. It take a couple of minutes to execute for the first time to load all the DLLs. Now you can see, am I getting the data or not? See that. So the data we are having on the product table, I'm getting that information. If you can just simply right click on that, select top 1000 rows, there it shows you the list of records that are available. You can just go there and verify. See that. Whatever the data we are having on the database, I'm able to get the data over here. You can see. Same data, I'm able to get it here. So this is how it is going to be. Is it clear? And the remaining operations also, that's your wish. Like however you wanted to perform, you can go ahead. That's your wish. No need to worry about that. Okay, why? Because like, as I already told you, this session is not for to explain you about the ASP.NET MVC. Just like how can we integrate the entity framework for an MVC application. So that is the reason where I've designed this session. Now the remaining methods also you can create as per your requirement. Yes. Yeah, at a time like the DB set will return only one product. Okay, one product only. So because of that reason. Right. Now this is how it is. And the next one is going to be, I just want to insert the data or like update the data or delete the data. Whatever you want to do, you can do that one. So that is what I'm trying to do. So how can I? So to do something like that, first let me create the people like who are completely new to ASP.NET MVC. You just please ignore that and understand like how I'm adding the methods and I'm using the entity framework CRUD operation methods. That's it. You people have to do that one. Simply what I can say, I'll use public action result that what I'm using, and this is for the create. Okay, this is for the create, and I'm using return view that what I wanted to use. There what I can do, I just wanted to add a view page. So no need to do anything by your own, just automatically it was generated. Right click and add a view page. I'm selecting my view as going to be create view. And then I'm working on the product table. So that is where I'll just give it over there. That's it. So that the create view page is going to be created like this. And based on the requirement, you can modify. That's your wish. Okay, based on the requirement, you can modify it over there. Now what I want to do, so this is basically a get action, which can be used to get the data. At the same time, let's have the post action used to submit the data as well. So that is the reason HTTP post that what I'm using. Okay, same action that what I want to give. Okay, and here what I can do, just let me go with create only, and I'm passing the complete product data. So that is the reason product obj that what I'm using. That's it. Normally the name should be a model. I'm giving something like this model that what I'm using. Now I just wanted to insert the data. So how can I do that one? How can I do that one? So what data it is expecting? Product ID, it's auto generated, no need to worry. Name, description, unit price, and the next one is going to be the category ID, right? That means we should pass the category ID as well. If you are not supplying the category ID, in future, if you wanted to perform like any operation, then there might be an issue. So that is the reason we have to supply those values as well. So how can I give it over there? But IDs, we can't able to remember, but the names can be. So that is the reason what I want to do. Just let me remove few things. As I mean, why I'm removing this one means just as per the requirement, you can modify whatever you want. And also here, category ID is available. I don't want to enter the category ID. So that let's remove this. Okay, let's remove this from here. Category ID, right? I'm going to remove from here. I just want to take it initially. At the time of taking the name itself, okay, the first one is name and the category. Here only I'm going to take it. That is what my requirement. And followed by model.category ID, that what I'm having. Okay, fine. And here we have the drop down list is available, right? You can see in the drop down list what we are having. Drop down list, I'll go with the list for, I can say it's better. And in place of category ID, just let me remove the category name. Model dot some code that what I am trying to implement, just you can verify it. HTML, like a drop down list that what I am using. And here I can say small model goes to model dot, I have what? The category ID, comma, new, select list is available. Okay, select list is available. I need to get the list of the data here. So I'll do one thing. In place of that, in the controller itself, I'm going to prepare the data. That means the category names that what I want to display. So that is the reason where I'll go with view back dot categories. From where we are getting the data into the categories, from the category table. So that is the reason I'm using the DB context class dot categories is available dot to list that what I'm using. I'm not retrieving a single column. I'm retrieving the complete table, and this table I just want to do bind it in here. Okay, in the drop down list, I just wanted to bind it here. What is the name we have given here? That's very important. View back dot categories is the name, right? Let's go to there and come back here to the create dot HTML. I mean create.cs HTML, and there here what I can do, just let me go with the new select list. There I can pass view back dot categories comma, okay, what you wanted to give, category ID that what I am giving, and at the same time I just wanted to get the name as well. Okay, and then I don't need this null and HTML attributes. So directly you can pass by using new. No need to give the HTML attributes as well. You can simply remove them, and the class is equal to, I'll say form control. And before that, okay, before that, I can pass something here. Select category, that what I'm giving. That's it. So this is what I have given. Just verify it once. I'm passing like model category ID. Okay. And then new select list I'm using, categories I'm passing, and then the category ID and the name. After that, select category and new, I'm applying a class that is form control, right? Everything is fine. Now let's execute my application once again. You can see how it would be. When I'm executing that, you can see. Okay, there is an error here where the error is going to be object reference is not set an instance of an object. Okay, let it be. Nothing is there here. Let's stop the debugging process. Okay, let's stop the debugging process here. And I just want to write the code for the post action first of all. I'll tell you like why it is going to. Now here, I'll write something like if. Okay, so basically if you are working on the scaffolding option of ASP.NET MVC, okay, by default it performs the validations. So that is what the reason where what I can do is just simply let me verify the state of the model. So how can I? Simply I'll go with there is a property is available, model state dot is valid is available. Okay, there what I can do is just let me insert the data into the products table. So that is the reason dc dot products dot add is available. Now I just wanted to add the model. That is the first one. And the next one is going to be dc dot we have save changes is available. That means once if you are adding the data into there, I just wanted to save my changes. Suppose if it is valid, and then I'm going to redirect my action to index space that what I wanted to give. Else if you wanted to give like any message, error message, there you can do that one by keeping the code in the try catch implementation. Whenever you perform the database operation, writing that in the try catch implementation is a good programming practice always. So that I'm writing like this. And after that, suppose if there is any kind of exception, then I just wanted to throw that exception here. I'll give an exception here. Just let me write the exception. That's it. This is what the code that what I have implemented for the post action and followed by the get action. And in the get action, this is what the get action, so that I can say HTTP get, and in similar way HTTP post. Now let's execute the application one more time. So first the request will hit the index action method. You can just verify. Right. When I click on create new, there you can see it comes here. Okay, you can see there it comes here, and press F11. It is getting all the categories. Now you can verify the categories what we are having. We have like 3 categories. The first one is going to be the books that what we are having. I'm not giving anything. Second one is going to be the laptop, and third one is going to be the desktop. 3 categories are available. And I'm sending a request to my view page now. Okay, I'm sending a request for my view page. Now here, what happened? Editor for model name. So what is my model basically here? The models are basically, just let's stop the debug. Just give me. So this is what my product that what I'm having. Product is my model. Now here it is showing me that. So model dot, right here what I'm having model dot model name that what I'm having. The name is belongs to what product dot name, and the next one is going to be product dot name. Okay, fine. And the category ID. So model dot category ID. I'm getting it over there. Okay. So why we are getting that error? Just verify it. This is the product information. Category ID. It's not because of that. Okay. Okay, let it be. First, let's create the remaining methods and we'll see that. So this is for the create. And like that, I just wanted to write the remaining methods as well. Just let me go with HTTP get. So the next one is going to be edit method, or else like getting a single record. So how can I public action result that what I'm using, and at the same time, okay, so I just wanted to pass. The next one is going to be details. That means I wanted to get a single record details based on the ID that what I'm passing. That's it. Based on the ID that what I'm passing here, I just wanted to get the product details over here. So how can I get it them? You can see here, simply I'll write the code dc dot, what it is, products dot. We have a method that is find method is available, and there I'm supplying the ID over there. That's it. And then let's say return view, and then I can pass the data whatever I'm getting. Now you can see this find method will return what? A product. So that is the reason where I'll create a product object here. Product obj is equal to, I'm getting the data, I'm going to return the data over here, and then you can just create it. Let's right click on there, add a view page. This is what the problem with scaffolding. So I'll go with the details, and then my model class is going to be product model class I'm selecting, and then click on OK. Excuse me. Right. So this is how it is going to be. When I'm executing this, now you can see from the controller only how to execute, but make sure whether these links are going to be enabled or not. Okay, fine. Based on the product ID only, we'll get that executed. Okay, it gets executed. Just to verify that. Right. Once if I click on details, there you can see, am I getting the details or not? Details of the product. If I click on back to list, if I click on this detail, I'm able to get the details. So this is how we'll get a single record. We'll get what? A single record to them from the server. Fine. And the next one is going to be whenever you want to do edit a record. So how can I edit the record? Simply, I'll go here. Let's stop the debugging process. Let's go for the editing, where I can have HTTP get that what I am using, and public action result that what I am using. There I'll go for the edit. And before you're going to edit, first you have to find the record. So how can I? Simply, I'll pass an ID and I'm going to find the record. Same code has to be repeated here. Let's copy and paste it here. That's it. And save this application. And you can add the scaffolding. That's it. Let's add a view page. And there you can select the edit view. And there you can select the model class. That is the product model. And then click on add, so that automatically that would be added here. You can see that. Let's add that. And when I'm executing that once again, you can see the edit. If user click on the edit button, excuse me. Right. Now you can see I'm clicking on this edit button. There you can see what happened. So here it is expecting the drop down list items, because the thing is here we have two items are available. I mean, two tables. That means we need to retrieve the data from the two tables. Because of that reason only we are getting the problem. Why? Because the category, one second. Yes. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Now, there is a drop down list that what I'm having here. And in the drop down list, I'm having, you can see the category ID. Directly, I'm getting it over there. And basically, this category ID is maintaining a relation with another table, right? So because of that reason, we are getting an errors. Okay, why? Because we are getting that errors because of that reason. Now, what I want to do here, I'm having model goes to model.category ID and some attribute that what we are having here. Okay, this is the label. Now what I can do, just let me remove this. This is not required. Directly HTML that what I'm using, equal class is equal to something that what I'm using. Okay, done. And then the drop down, in place of the drop down, just let's go with the drop down list for that what I'm using. And in the drop down list for same thing, model goes to model.category. These are all like strongly typed helper methods. You will come to know once you learn the ASP.NET MVs. Model.category, that what I am having. And after that, here we'll pass the data, new select list item. Okay, select list item that what we are having. We do have select list, and there we have to supply the data as well. The same data, viewback dot, sorry. Viewback dot what we are having, and categories. categories that what I'm giving, and I'll give a comma. There you can see the selected value is going to be category ID. Whatever we are having on the database table, you should give the same name. Category ID, comma. Okay, the disabled values are going to be, you can give like whatever you wanted to give here. Category ID is the value that what I'm giving, and then the name is the value that what I want to give, and followed by, I'll say new class that what I'm giving. That's enough. Okay, new class that what I'm giving, and here optional label if you wanted to give. So select category, you can give it over there. That's it. Let's save this application, and this information has to be supplied. So how can I? Just let me come back here, viewback.categories, right? Just let's copy that and stop the debugging process. And in the edit get request, edit get request, there you people have to get the data. So how can I? Viewback.categories is equal to dc.categories.toList that what I'm using. That's it. One more time, I'm using the same thing. Now this time you can verify, it will work perfect. Okay. Now I'll just click on edit. Now you can see, am I getting the data or not? You can see lab, tab, books, desktop. Yes or no? Tell me guys. Right? The same code need to be implemented in the create as well. You can just implement that in create so that automatically that will get executed. That means I'm getting the data from multiple tables here. This is from the product table. And as like I'm going to edit the data, so that is the reason I'm having something like this. I'm able to get the data, something like this. The same code need to be modified. So might be because of some change, like I haven't get the create. You can just try with that Lenovo laptop if I'm giving. And this is suppose if I'm going with the books and just click on save, then I don't have the post action. So that is the reason we'll have an error. And let's create the post action for that one. So simply I'll say HTTP post that what I'm giving and public, okay, action result. There you can say edit that what I'm using. And there I just wanted to supply the product, some object that what I'm using, and come back here. And you people can write the code dc dot, we have a method that is entry method is available. There I just wanted to go with an object dot, we have state is available is equal to entity state dot modify. So here the entry method, find method, and at the same time we have add method is available. All these methods are basically belongs to the entity framework CRUD operation methods. We can use these methods. That's very important. Without that, you can't able to do that. Now, once if it is done, there I can call dc dot save changes. And if you wanted to verify how it is going to be done, I mean, the validation part, you can just add a 2 lines of the code that model state validation that you can add. Now you can execute my application once again. See there how it would be. Edit operation and delete operation. Any operation you can do that by using the entity framework. That much simple. That means the complete database logic is no need to write by your own. It would be automatically done. That is what the advantage that what we are having here. Now you can see. So that is how it is. Let's click on the edit. I'll give the name is going to be something like ASP.NET MVC. The book is going to be, I'll say Naresh IT. I'm giving the description. Naresh IT ebook, that what I'm giving, and price is something. This comes under the books only, or else like laptop I'm giving, and just click on save. There you can see I'm able to get everything. You can see ASP.NET MVC book and unit price, and you can just go to the database as well, and there if you can execute that, okay, we'll get it over there. You can see ASP.NET MVC Naresh IT ebook, and 1200 as the price, and the category what I'm selecting, based upon that it got selected. Okay, so that is how it is going to. Clear? So like that you can perform all the CRUD operations, like whatever you people wants to perform, you can go with that. That's your wish. So that is how the thing. Okay, entity framework, CRUD operation, and later like if you wanted to write for code for the delete also, you can just have a look into that. Okay, this is like normal way. Suppose if I'm having a stored procedure, Srikanth, how can I use that? Stored procedures and functions. Okay, normally why people are using ADO.NET means, because of like the stored procedures. Normally, like stored procedures will give you the security for the code that what we have written. So that is the reason we go with that. Now, suppose if I'm having a stored procedure, how can I go with that? Just let me show you. Let's see here. I'm having the product DB. I'm going to create a small stored procedure and the function. Let's see. I'll remove this. So use product DB, that what I'm using. I'm using that. And I just wanted to create a stored procedure now. How do we create? Create procedure. The name of the procedure is going to be get product is the stored procedure. Okay, get product is the stored procedure, that what I'm using. And it's containing a parameter. The parameter is going to be something like a product ID, that what I'm using. And the type is going to be an integer. As I don't need to explain how do we write the stored procedures. Select star from, the table name is going to be products table. Okay, the table name is going to be the products table. I'll write something like where product ID is equal to whatever the product we are having, product ID, we'll get it over there, and then we'll use the end. So this is what my stored procedure. Okay, commands completed successfully. And I wanted to write a function as well. So how can I write a function? Create function, and the name of the function is going to be, I'll say fn underscore, it is a function. The name is going to be get product. And here also, if you can specify SP, then that's good programming practice. Okay, this is a function. So that is where I'm starting with the fn get product, that what I'm having. And at the same time, I'm using same like product ID, that what I'm supplying here. And the type is going to be an integer. But if it is a function, we should have with what? Parenthesis. And at the same time, we don't have like as begin and all. Directly what you can do, it returns a table. So simply the function will return something. What you wanted to return? I just wanted to return a table. Okay, table I'm using, returns table, that what I'm using. And what you wanted to return, that you can specify it here. I'm going to return something like this. So let's return, select the star from, the table name is going to be the products table, where product ID is equal to, I'm getting the product ID from here. Let's pass it. That's it. I'm passing it. Now what happened? Create function must be only in the, okay, nothing is there here. Just let's select that and execute. Commands completed successfully. And if you can just refresh it once, and there you can see the programmability. If you can open, there we have the stored procedure get product is my stored procedure. And if you can go to the function, I have a function that is going to be, okay, these are like one stored procedure I have created and one function I have created. Just to demonstrate you how can we use a stored procedure and function in the entity framework. This is very important. Most of the people, they will ask the question, okay, in this particular one. So how can I use it? How can I use them? So to explain you about that, first I'm doing some modifications on my database table, right? I'm doing some modifications on my database table. So that is the reason where just let's come back here. Okay, let's come back here. Suppose if anyone needs this, you can just have you people can just take a screenshot of this. Two functions, one is function, stored procedure, another is function that what I have created. Fine. Let me go to here, EDMX file, and I just wanted to get them again. So how can I go to the model browser? EDMX file, update the database, and add is available. There, if you can open that DBO, it shows you like what are all the functions and stored procedures are available, and just click on finish. Now just wait a while. It take a couple of minutes to add everything. And once if it is done, you can see generating the model. It took around like 3 minutes of the 3 seconds of the time to generate it. And once if it is done, just go and build the solution. Okay, just go and build the solution. Okay, and the build process is initiated. Right, succeeded. And you can see how the code was generated. If you can just go to the view and model browser, that what I already told you. Yesterday we opened other windows. There we have entity data, model browser, if you can see. And in the model browser, you can find everything. So what we are having, if you can see the store, we have the stored procedures and function. And the same thing is going to be repeated under where function imports. If you can see, there we have the get product is available. This is the function and this is the stored procedure. Now what it is expecting, a product ID it is expecting, and you can see get product is available, that is the product ID. And followed by, you can see in the complex type, it prepares the result set to you. Okay, it prepares the result set. That means if the stored procedure is executed, what result it is going to be written. Or else like if the function is executed, what result it has to be written. Everything you people will get it over there. And not only here, if you can observe that, okay, just let's come back here. It prepares the separate result sets here. You can see that. Is it prepare the separate result sets or not? You can see what it contains. Get product. A function is returning same. And at the same time, the stored procedure is also returning the same thing that what we are having. Okay, same thing that what we are having. That means normally it returns the different values here. But when it is going to be required, and you can see here, we have some complex type. In the model browser, let's open the model browser. Oh, model browser was closed. Just let's go there. And yesterday somebody asked Mr.Srikanth like why we need to have the complex types. You can see that. Oh, if you work with model browser, it should be here, right? That's it. So here we have the complex type. Why? Because if you are writing a stored procedure or it might be a function, there is no guarantee that like we all are working on a single table, right? There might be multiple tables if you are working. Then whatever the result it is producing to you, that is going to be a complex result. So because of that reason only, we are having here. Okay, because of that reason only, these two are going to be associated in the complex type. But right now I'm having like only one table. So that is the reason I just wanted to map them. Instead of using them, what I can do is I just wanted to map them. So how can I map it? How can we map it? Instead of using like these two separate result sets here, Suppose if I'm executing the function, then I wanted to return the product table. If I'm executing this stored procedure also, I just wanted to return the same thing. How can I do that one? So to do that one, we use the model browser. And in the model browser, you can see here, there is function imports are available. Okay, just you can right click on here and click on edit. It shows you like different things. Don't go with the complex. Okay, you can see written a collection of, I'll say that entities. Okay, I'll say that entities, and it shows you the list of entity. I'm selecting the product, that's it. It's not required to have the complex type. And at the same time, why? Because I'm getting only one table by executing that. I'm selecting this entity and just select the product and just click on OK. That's it. Then you people can remove these complex types as well. These are not required. Delete from the model. I'm deleting here. And also I'm right click, deleting it from the model. Just go there and save this application. I'm doing some modification. Now you can see, execute. Just wait a while. Right. It take a couple of minutes. Just wait a while. Why? Because I'm doing the model modification. Now you can see, once if it is done, right. Once if it is done, just let's go to the build and build the solution. Right. Succeeded. Now go to the solution explorer. Do we have these two? Tell me. Separate result sets. Do we have the separate result set? You can see there. We don't have the separate result sets for that one. That means after executing these stored procedures also, we'll get the same thing. And if you can see the context class is going to be changed based on the modifications. You can see that. It is added like few lines of the code. Function get product and get product is available. And whenever it is required, you people just call this particular one in order to execute the stored procedures. Okay, so that is what the importance of the model browser. That is what the importance of what? Model browser. So how can we call the stored procedures? We'll see that in the next session. So tomorrow and day after tomorrow also we have the sessions, and there we'll learn about how can we work with stored procedures, execution, and also the code first approach and the importance of the code first and code first migrations if time permits. All these things will be discussed again from tomorrow onwards. Tomorrow I'll show you the extension of this example is going to be how do we call the stored procedures in the entity framework. Okay, any questions for anyone? You can ask me. Anyone have any queries? TT file is just a text file, that's it. We don't have like a DB context. There you can see under the TT file, we don't have the context. There is a separate file is available. Okay, it is a separate file. It's not a TT file complete. Okay, that's it for today, and we'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll continue with stored procedures. That's it. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.